Hi, this is Brian with Mingo Smart Factory. In this video, we're going to cover how to create custom forms. Custom forms are a solution to be able to collect other data out on the factory floor, things like you're currently filling out paperwork for. So they could be check sheets, quality information, safety information, really anything that lives on a piece of paper that an operator is writing down. You can build a form to collect that data electronically and then make it available everywhere inside of Mingo. So we're going to cover a few types of forms inside of the system. This is a feature of the enterprise package, so you have to have enterprise to be able to use this. I am at the manage forms menu item here, and let's cover the different types of forms in the system. So custom forms are probably the most commonly used type of form. Those are forms that you can custom design and put any fields for the most part on those forms and collect that data. These forms also have the ability to perform different actions. So for example, you can collect some data and record quantities. You can collect some data and record downtime events. You can collect some data and record scrap. So the example that we're going to walk through here is I want to record a serial number when I record a quantity. There are some other types of forms as well, and these three production details, end of run report, work order details allow you to customize the look and feel of existing forms within the system. So we'll cover that towards the end of the video. So the very first one that we're going to cover is creating a serial number form and recording a quantity when we get that serial number. So I named my form serial number. I'm choosing form action, submit data, and create quantity event. So now we see our form configuration screen. We have a couple of options here. Do you want to include the production run comment? This takes the comment that's on the production run and then copies it down to each form when you submit a quantity event so that you can either view or change that value. Same thing with the event comment. It allows you to enter an event comment every time you record the serial number. So to add our serial number to the form, we click Add Field. I'm just going to search for it. And it's already been added because we did this in another video. The custom field has already been added to the events object. And so we see here it's required, it's single line text. We also have the ability to group forms fields as well. So now I can enter some more information. Is it read only? Is it required? Um, you can also enter help text, and we'll see how this is displayed. You can choose that field group again. So I hit save. Okay, so now that's been added to my form. The next step before I can use the form is I have to associate it with either a machine or a part. And you can see that we haven't done that yet based on this notice at the top. So to do that, we click on Associations, we click Add Association. So the idea here is some forms are applicable to some machines, some forms are applicable to some parts, some forms are for specific parts on specific machines. So what this allows you to do is say, for example, I want this form to always be available in the bakery anytime we run anything. So if I choose machine, bakery, that's how that's going to work. I can keep this as any, which means it'll be available for any machine and any part. Or I could change this and say, okay, I only want this form anytime I'm running a burger. And then you can combine them together as well. So for example, I could say, only in the bakery when I'm making burgers do I want this form available. So a lot of flexibility there to be able to choose where your forms are going to show. I'm going to set it to any, which means this form's available everywhere. It doesn't matter what machine, it doesn't matter what part I'm running. Okay, so now I've saved that. Our notice has gone away. I'm going to save the form as well. And now it's ready to use. So let's go take a look at the bakery where we're making our burgers. And you'll notice here on the operator screen, there's a forms button. I can click the forms button and here my serial number form is available for me. So I can enter my quantity, which it defaults to 1 every time, and then a serial number. So let's say the serial number is F1204. And then I can also add a number, add another, so I could turn this on and this will just keep popping up every single time. So maybe I'm using the screen every time to record the data. So now here it is again. What you'll notice too is that that part has been recorded down at the bottom with the appropriate serial number. So let's do another one, F or G, okay? And then we just keep submitting those. So that's a custom form with the ability to submit a piece of data at the same time. For example, the serial number. So let's go back to our forms again, and let's customize one of the existing forms in the system. So let's say I want to change what shows up on the production details pop-up. So I'm choosing form type production details. And then when I get here, we have existing groups that go on that particular pop-up. So there's a group of fields for production information, for work order details, and for parts. So let's say I want to add a custom field from parts and I want to display it there. So I click on add, and then I can choose maybe weight in pounds. Okay, and then we've already filled out, it's not read only, it is required. Here's the weight in pounds. I'm going to make this not required because we're just going to show some data there. Okay, and then I hit save. So now that on these types of forms, you don't have to associate them with anything. They're available. It's a default customization across the entire system. So now when I look at production details for the bakery, and I click on, I go to my operator screen, I click on details, I click on part details, you'll see the weight is here. You also see my custom object I built in another video showing the bill of material. So what that really allows you to do is if you have a lot of different custom fields that are used for custom calculations and different things is what do I want to show to the operators on the floor? And this is how you do that. So if you make modifications to the production information, that would show up here. If we were running a work order, there would be another tab that would say work order details. And if I added any of my custom fields to that, it would show up there as well. Okay. Same thing with the end of run report. So what we've covered here is a couple of things. One is how do I modify standard forms in the system, which we just showed? How do I add, different fields to the different display pop-ups that we have, these field groups? I can also change the display order of these, right? How do I create a custom form to record custom data along with an event? So we did custom data with a quantity event, but you could do the same thing for downtime and scrap. In another video, we're going to go into how to build a form and also store the data for quality, for example. So if I want a quality form and I want to store that data as part of a production run, how do I build that?